Welcome to Friday Night Live. Good to have everybody here, all of our fun friends and fans and supporters. This week we've got a pretty good show. It's an interesting week. As you guys know, CIG is on a hiatus right now, a little break. And so they did put some things out though. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff that came out. And but before we do that, we haven't seen Gigi in a while. We haven't seen Gigi since the anniversary show. Is that right?
I know, it's been a minute. It's been a while, y'all. I have been out here living the life like it's golden.
You're right. Well, it's been a month because I think we did the anniversary show the first week in March, and it's the first weekend in April. April, yeah. So it's been a little while, but it's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. I missed you guys. Well, I mean, I'm always in the chat, but you know.
Yep. So tonight, Gigi, we're going to cover some topics that you are thrilled about, maybe some that you aren't so thrilled about. The first one that we are going to talk about tonight is some things that took place this week. We had the last couple of weeks we've been talking about Elite Dangerous Odyssey coming out. Folks were looking forward to that, and I think March 29th, Monday, was the release date for the alpha for it. And so a lot of folks that, play Star Citizen, they scrambled out there to play it. And it was interesting. I got to watch a few videos. And one of the videos tonight that we're going to take a quick look at is done by one of our good friends, DigThat32. DigThat did a walkthrough that day live on YouTube. And so I got a chance to tune in while he was doing it. And so what I want to do is change us over to that. And then we're going to just take a quick look, and I'm going to talk about a little bit. We'll listen to a little bit of what he has to say, and then we're going to kind of, give our thoughts on what we see. Maybe that's a better way for me to put it. So I'm being nice today. I'm really trying to be nice about this tonight. So I'm really trying to be nice about this. So let me see here. All my stuff reset. That is so great. I don't know why. I'm just having issues tonight. Okay, so. Let's see. Let's go here. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Hit the wrong button.
I don't even think they said
there we go.
They may do it later.
Can you guys hear that? Please let us know.
Not doing that again, not yet.
Thanks, Chip.
All right, man. Pretty nice being in the station.
So Gigi, I want you to kind of look and see if there's things here that cool.
Doesn't look as good. The textures aren't as cool, but them frames are
I don't know. I just
cool.
feel like I'm watching bootleg Star Citizen.
All right, give it a little.
This is like somebody slammed Arcor and Microtech into each other, and it's unattractive.
Okay, so they, unlike us, when we go to our terminals, we do the ships, but for them, it's kind of like the equivalent of like our Mobi-Glass, I guess you could say. Plus, they do have one that's for ships as well. So this is like kind of where they get their missions and things from.
Get stuck, so I gotta figure out how to. Oh, to escape.
Wouldn't you rather have that everywhere you go?
No, because I tried that with her.
So you could see it when you needed to.
Well, yeah, but again, just kind of watch him. We'll just follow him around a little bit. He's going to wander a little bit.
I just want to go down there and get a look at my surroundings.
I'm going to put the link in for you guys too, that you guys can check out DigThat's video. He did spend a decent amount of time in there just kind of testing it out. And I encourage you to check it out. Plus support DigThat. He's one of our team members, and Dig's a really, really cool person. So
jazzy music in the background.
He's got a great voice. He's got a great voice for the shower.
That's actually kind of cool. Something to chill out with when you come back from the mission.
Hey, go, man. How you doing, buddy?
Escape somebody trying to blow your ship up. You need this little jazz.
Good. How you doing?
Cracking.
I'm all right. Thanks for asking.
Which is pretty cool, man. It's a lot cooler than I thought it was gonna look. I thought it was gonna look real. It's low basic. I thought it was gonna look super basic. This looks actually pretty good. And I wish I could zoom down to see what's going on in the distance, but either you can or I just don't know how.
Now, one of the things Gigi and DigThat mentions this is that their NPCs are pretty much static. There's no movement or walking around.
What can I get?
And at first I didn't notice that the first time I saw it, even though they are animated.
D, what you got?
Feel free to browse my wares.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is stuff I have no idea what it's for.
Yeah,
Do you know if
Josh.
they plan to make them
Don't know.
moving, or are they gonna stay
It's cheaper
static?
than the
Don't
March
know.
Rebels
Well, you know what?
before.
Ours are static too, right?
So before.
According to Josh, not enough standing on chairs. That's true, Chip. At least they know how to use a chair. Everybody's commenting about the chair.
All we get is the
Batteries,
chairs.
suffer your weapons. Okay. That's where the bartender sells at, but cool.
Suit yourself. There's no odds to me.
I could buy some circuit boards from me, but I can't get a drink up in this joint.
So one of the things he comments about is that the frame rates that the game does run very smoothly, which is cool.
You looking for a new weapon? Or to upgrade an old one?
Can I look at what I got now? Nope. We kind of do a little moonwalk.
Something catches your eye? Let me know. None of these guns will let you down.
Rimlock Maverick, 150,000. That's 3 times the money we got. Five grades. Oh man, is that the grade 1?
One of the things that was interesting is I think they started them out with 50,000 credits, and
Yeah.
that suit costs 150,000.
Can you look at grade 2?
So there's barely enough money to do some of the things at the beginning. So they do that deliberately because it makes them have to go out and do some missions and stuff to earn money. Where, you know, a lot of times when Star Citizen gives us something in the PTU, they actually will give us like 15 million credits so we can just immediately start testing stuff. But for them, they're testing the missions.
Engineering matched anyone.
So I'm going to drop the volume on this a little bit. We've got GoMab here. As you guys heard him come in, GoMab, it's good to see you, or good to have you with us again.
Splurge a little bit.
Hey,
What are your? Did you get a chance to look at any of the playthroughs this week with
we may need
Elite
some
Odyssey?
stuff down the road, so
yeah, I've been checking out Dick That's videos. I really like his videos,
that
especially his 1 minute videos. He jumps in and jumps out, you know, drops some knowledge and keeps pushing. So I can appreciate the brevity there.
The demonstration, you could just
And you know, and for Dig, you know, as you probably already know, Dig, this is where Dig started, was with Elite. He found out about Star Citizen afterwards, so he still has a great love for the game, and still, just as much as he puts out Star Citizen videos, he puts out Elite videos still just as much. So he's been very excited about, you know, the new prospects of Odyssey, right? Was there? What did you? If GoMap, is there anything you saw as a plus that you about this, and then maybe what you say as a con? And I know it's still in alpha; it's an early alpha. Was there anything that would kind of stick to you in relation to that?
Yeah, I mean, just the approach that they took, I could appreciate, right? You know, get it in, make it smooth, make it work, and then iterate and make it better over time. We can crack up on NPCs not, you know, spawning at their house and having to walk all the way to Microtech and all that stuff. But you know, I think Star Citizen could benefit from some. All right, let's just make this static. We don't need to have a backstory on every piece. Just get it in and make it better as we tweak and polish.
Okay. I know that when the first few days, there's a lot of excitement, and then of course as people got deeper into it, of course, and because it's an alpha, the purpose of people being in there is to start finding things. And so the game ran well for most people. What they started finding were some quality of life issues, and then maybe some things related to missions. And that may be just because it hasn't all been plugged in. But people seem to be relatively happy with it, and of course, for people who've been in it. In fact, today I was giving some thought to jumping into the alpha. I'm going to jump into it when it's, you know, in the full blown. But I have been a little reticent about, you know, spending the extra money to play alpha right now. And when I went back and looked, I saw when I looked at my account for Frontier, I actually got into this in 2014. So it's been 7 years now. You know, and I didn't realize that much time. It didn't feel like that much time had gone by, you know. But they are finally, and they've always talked about that they wanted to one day be able to do this. So, you know, it's kind of cool to see that they are finally entering into this. And of course, there's last week, I think, what was the last week or week before last, Love Machine made a really cool point where she said that she sees these games as two very different games, where one is much more toward like simulator and one is not per se a simulator, even though there are some simulated kind of things. So I'm cool with what they're doing. I'm just curious to see how it will progress, you know, and how much further they will go. DG, would you play something like this, do you think? Or would you only play it if maybe like if Star Citizen was around and maybe it might have interested you? Or would you, if they get it further along, would you give consideration to playing it?
Probably not, but because I am not an FPS player,
okay.
and Elite really kind of forces it, you know what I mean? And that's just not my gameplay, so I don't think I'd have a lot of fun. And it's no fault of theirs, that's just the game that they're building, so it's, you know, just the difference between what I like and what they're making. But yeah, probably not. No, as much as I do love sci-fi and I do love space, this is just not the kind of game I like to play.
Okay. Fist to Face, for some reason I'm trying to bring you down into chat. DG, can you see if you can bring him down? Because for some reason or other, my Discord is not letting me drag him down. Are you able to get him? Okay, cool. There we go. Hello, Fist to Face.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
How are you?
Hey, you doing?
How's everybody doing today?
Okay.
Tonight.
Okay. Any thoughts on Elite Dangerous coming out this week?
I'd be honest with you, I just came in on a video, so I was kind of disappointed though last week when I found out that the game was single player though. Like you can't group up. So like there's let you guys know anything.
No. Actually, they did a developer diary this week, and they did do it where they got together at the station. What happened was last week we weren't sure because we'd only seen one player in the demos, but you can actually have multiple players that'll meet at the station and hook up and talk and all that good stuff.
His voice sounded sexy because he had like a cold or something.
Okay, well, you know what? It has my interest again.
So I just feel the cold. I don't feel the sexy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would consider it.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Okay, well, listen, we're going to keep following up with the progress of this. As you guys know, they're in alpha right now. If you are interested in playing Star Citizen, not Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous Odyssey, if you want the upgrade from Horizons, yeah, I know. If you want the upgrade from to Odyssey, it's $39 if I'm not mistaken in US dollars. If you want to be able to play the alpha, it's $54.95 if you want to do the alpha. So if you want to get in there and help them make the game progress further and do the testing and everything, way to go. If you're just curious, you can drop the extra bucks and jump right in and try it out. So yeah, that's it on Odyssey. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the next piece that we've got. What's the next thing we got, GG? The update, right?
Next thing up is
the update.
The update.
Yeah. Okay. As you guys know, this week just yesterday, PTU 3.13 is out. Update 3.13 is not, but PTU is, and I'm putting that little flyer up there because we are going to be covering it on in 2 weeks. And so, Mad Style, thank you as always for the 4 wonderful gift subs. Thank you so much.
We love you, Mad.
Thank you, Mad Style. So anyway, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing a full show on 3.13. We always kind of try to guesstimate when we think it may be out to everyone. And so hopefully within 2 weeks, it will be beyond wave 1 and wave 2 and that everybody will have their hands on it and be able to play on it. But we are going to talk a little bit about the update today. Gigi and I are going to kind of cover a few things on it. Delvos, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Okay, GG, so here's some things that we've talked about in the past that are going to be in this particular update that people are pretty excited about. Cave entrances, right? Being able to go in that, well, I mean, we already had cave entrances, but this is that you can go into caves with like vehicles and ships, okay? Right, so cave entrances. FPS cave missions, they've added new missions now in the game. There's 3 of them in particular, and I've kind of completely forgot them. I read them yesterday, but I know that there are 3 of them. Okay, somebody else terrible. Someone else just described. Quinn, thank you for the sub and the gift sub. Thank you so much. Let's see. Then there was also the new sign distance fields. Please forgive me for the cough. Some of you all know that when the Xeno threat came out, they were doing some testing with the Javelin and the Idris, and we saw a new version of the shields that came out in the game. And so they told us that that would be out in 3.13. And so now that shield tech is in, and basically what it is now when you look at the shields, before you just used to see a blue burst and that was about it. But now you'll see that burst pinpoint a little more accurately. You'll see it change color to let you know whether this shit...
I watched that, and it was like changing colors and going like a pinkish purple. Yep. It was really nice.
Yep. So it'll change the colors and stuff and let you know when it's about to go. Here's a good one. The new quantum sensitive and timed delivery missions. Those were also done during Xeno threat, where there were certain cargo containers that carried, if you shook them up or they got shaken, they could blow up on you. Some of them over time, you only have so much time. You can't quantum with them. And so those are the new things that are in. There's some missions in for that. And then last, GG, your favorite, force reactions. They've expanded on them. You know how before, if somebody rocked the ship, you kind of leaned left and right? Well, now you literally lean and fall against the wall and catch yourself and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's just kind of a new cool effect. So
no more forcing Gigi to be the pilot.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have a bad time.
Or at least wear a seatbelt. Okay. At least wear a seatbelt. Okay. So let's go down these a little bit. And GoMab and Fist to Face will get you guys thoughts on this. Some of the new features that are in, I'll read the first one, G, is hull visual degradation. Introducing visual wear and tear to player ships as they age and degrade. Ships will subtly change depending on how long they've existed in the verse until the ship is repaired using Cry-Astro services or remade with an insurance claim. With the initial release, most ships will have this, but the following ships are currently not enabled. The Hawk won't have it, the Reliant, the Archimedes, the Drake Dragonfly, the Origin 600i, the Anvil Gladiator, the Vandal Scythe, Drake Caterpillar, Anvil Valkyrie, Cartual, RSI Ursa Rover, Mustang variants, and the Anvil Terrapin. Let's go to you, Fist, first on this one. Visual degradation, is it cool to you? Could care less? Or are you excited about it?
I am excited about it. Okay. I'm always excited about things that are cosmetic, especially that that has a function. Makes you think about what you're doing in the game as far as, taking care of your ship, stuff like that. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. Let me say something here, because I know GoMab is about to lose his mind, because this isn't just cosmetic. Just understand that, right? Right, GoMab? Because GoMab will be the first one to tell you, if it's just got to do with cosmetics, he wants something that's got to do with gameplay, right? Is that right, GoMab?
Actually, you're almost right, but not 100%. Okay. I do understand the gameplay ramifications of this and the where I see past the cosmetic down to the systems and how they impact. I just want I'd like to see this represent some way to see your actual hull HP and how much life and how much health your hull still has remaining on it before you go into battle. If you about to go into battle and you sparkly and shiny, all right, cool, I can take a couple more hits. But if I'm a little, rattered and tattered, I might not want to engage. So, I can see how that can play into a system. So it's not just cosmetic. So yes, you're partly right.
Okay. All right.
I'm still me, babe.
Yeah. Okay. G, you want to do the next one?
Sure thing. Vehicle names and serial numbers, adding the ability for certain ships to display custom player-assigned names on the sides of their ships on the hull. Special serial numbers will also be shown, and all of their ships will have unique serial numbers displayed to identify them in the universe.
Very cool. Very cool. Gigi, have you come up with any ship names yet? Are you going to kind of just forego naming your ship something? Or are you going to give it some thought?
I have a few, but I'm not willing to say them unless somebody steal them. Okay. But I have a few, yes.
All right. You thought about it already. Okay. GoMab, what about you? Did you come up with names? I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Did you come up with your names for your ships?
Yeah, I'm just gonna name them all Gigi's Box of Spiders.
Gigi does
Charlotte
not
Web.
own a box of spiders, sir. I would burn the entire state if there were a box of spiders somewhere. Okay?
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia, Pops is back there saying.
Yeah, she ain't dealing with it. She's not having it. She's not having it.
Spiders.
Okay. What about you, Fist to Face? Did you come up with any names for ships?
Yes, I named my MSR. Was trying to check it out earlier, just before I came in here, in a PTU. Didn't see it. I'm trying to figure out where is it at on my MSR, but I did name mine Junkin and Trump. For those of you who don't know that that name and reference, that's from Martin.
Interesting.
Old 90s show.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I will gladly say that on my luxury ships, I named them Snobs 1 and Snobs 2.
Snobs. Oh, okay.
Those are my names on my luxury ships.
Snobs. I like it. That's good.
Yes,
that's cool.
yes, Snobs. Okay, let's.
You know what, Fast Cart? That's not a bad idea. Pico is my co-pilot. I take all day, every day, and no caves should just be stamped on my forehead at this point.
Okay. Oh, by the way, we are running a contest tonight. We haven't done it in a little while because we have been doing some other things, but we are tonight going to run the contest. And if you say the secret word, you will win a prize, and it is not a box of spiders. So if you decide to join us, if you guys decide to come into chat tonight, the secret word has to be said in Discord, not in the chat, folks. So the only way you get to be a participant in this contest is if you are in our Discord, and the link, as you guys know, is right there on the page. You can join us and give us your thoughts about 3.13. Okay, my turn, right? Ship-to-ship docking. Adding the ability for the Merlin snub ship to dock and undock within the constellation, along with guidance mode UI to ensure correct alignment during the docking process. Players will be able to use the auto land system and manual flight to dock. To take off from the constellation, press the landing gear key in, and to start the docking process, target the constellation, then hit the landing gear key again in to initiate the docking UI. You can do the same. You can do the same to dock with another player's Connie, but you will need to request permission to dock and have that player approve it after initiating the docking UI with their ship. Okay, go Mab. No, Fist to Face this time. Fist to Face, do you own any of the Connies? Nope.
We used to. CCU that one up to, I think, what you do, bad Pops?
To the Polaris.
CCU to the Polaris. Okay. Go Mab, what about you? Do you own any of the RSI Connie series?
I do. I have an Andromeda, and I did some testing in the PTU on that docking yesterday, and it worked well. I was able to undock a P-52 that I got, and land it at Everest, run in, spawn a P-72, fly back up to my Connie, dock it, and fly away.
Wow.
The test was successful.
Nice. That's good news. I was watching Captain Richard, and he did the same. Not the same, but he got a chance to show, coming in and going out, and I was like, wow, it's working. He tried it a second time, and it got a little jittery on him, but it's good to know that system is working, especially this early in PTU. We just had another guest join us, Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral, it's good to have you with us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hey guys.
We're just talking about
April 3rd.
Thank you. April 3rd, the fourth month of the year. That's true. Admiral, did you get to check out anything with the docking yet? Or first of all, do you own one of the RSI Connie ships?
I did, but just the Taurus. But that was in the past. And it's just I want them to get updated a bit. I think they will do something, but I don't know. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was going to ask, if they do the updating and stuff, I was just about to ask you, do you think you would go back and want to maybe consider having another Connie again?
With the ships that I have now, I don't think I need it.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
And I would like to actually. The Phoenix is kind of a cool ship. Hold on, there was an issue with that. Oh yeah, it needs bathrooms because it needs luxury bathrooms. I don't feel like I should be sharing the bathroom with.
Yeah, you don't want the crew lab up front. I've barked about that myself. I have truly barked about that. Absolutely. I've barked about the whole layout. I like what they have on it, but they laid it out goofy. So they need to rework the Phoenix layout a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. If they could put in a nice piano in there, they can find a place to put a toilet.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, and like a sink or something. So.
Absolutely. And by the way, Ops Chief says you're a blasphemer. You can always use more ships. So he's passing that on to you. Okay?
My goodness.
Okay.
I don't have enough monitors to operate them all at the same time. That's the problem.
There you go. All right, Gigi, you get the next one.
Okay, we are doing Reputation UI implementation. This feature adds the addition of a new MobiGlass app that will give players insight into their reputation with the important NPCs and organizations they have interacted with. This will also include a total list of reputation ranks, including those that have been completed and the ones that they're actively working on. Okay.
I know some of you guys know that we had already began a very initial thing of reputation with the crimes, the law system rather. And I know we've all been watching ISC and seeing how they've been moving this thing into reputation between ourselves and NPCs, as well as now they're introducing, not to be too far from elite, they're talking about even against organizations or guilds. GoMap. Does this interest you in the game, this reputation piece? Who you can get missions from, can't get missions from, who you can tick off, who you can make happy?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to be able to see where I stand in my progression. Especially if there's going to be benefits and perks and additional high dollar missions given once you get to certain levels. I mean, I'm all for it.
Okay. Fist, how about you?
Oh yeah, this is right up my alley. Like I said before, me and Dad, we will go in and figure out who we want to rank up, and we will grind away on this.
Okay.
So yeah.
And Admiral, I want to ask you something. I want to hope that I wasn't dreaming this, and I hope I heard it correctly. I thought I heard that as you gain reputation, let's say it's with Twitch Pacheco, who I always mention that I'm going to marry in game. Let's say that you are getting some form of reputation with Twitch, right? From my understanding, yeah, I know. From my understanding, it is going to be dynamic. In other words, that you have to maintain it, because once you get to a certain level, if you don't continue to do work for her, it will start to drift itself back down again. Does it sound like a good thing to you, or do you sound like it's going to be frustrating?
I think this should be like tiers of it, maybe, but yeah, it sounds like it makes sense. Like why you do all that, grinding like any other MMO, and then it stays at 100%, for the next 20 years, and you just show up like, hey, how's it going? Where's my ship you guys owe me, or something like that, or my free taxi ride. I also think it should, like, if you have, of course, everybody's looking at having org mates and stuff like that. I think if an org mate screws up, and they do something against that organization you're trying to like bring up, and you could kill their cousin for all you know, and then like your reputation just crashes with that organization. So I think something like that should go into play. It'd be more realistic anyways. People would be like, oh, you're really gonna have to like choose your friends, I guess, a little bit more, and like, hey, FYI, don't touch this person, and this guy's cat, so just be careful.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Gigi, what about you? For reputation, do you care about reputation, or you're going to get in good with some people, or maybe certain trades?
Reputation.
Okay.
Because a good portion of the sort of careers that I generally enjoy, for me to make money really with them, I'm going to have a good reputation and get hired out. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy for the grind. I'm just not happy for the paying to play.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, if that makes any sense? So I'm not mad to sit down and play at it when I have the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it'll be fun. I'm all for Reputation. Like that is probably one of the bigger things I've been waiting on. I'm very excited for Reputation.
Okay, very cool.
So I want to ask GreenEyedGyal a question. So if there was the interstellar association of xenomorphs, and they needed you to like drop off 100 bodies for their face huggers, would you want to do that?
Why do y'all think y'all funny? Like,
I'm sorry, Gigi. You kind of opened yourself up for that one, though, because once you said you don't like creatures and all of that other stuff.
I don't like creatures.
I know.
I don't like creepy crawlers. I have no desire to put myself in a position to deal with them.
All right.
Well, they're just looking for a little. They're just looking for a little fist bump from you, and you know, some bodies. That's all they need. You know.
No, honey.
Not gonna happen. She says humanoid or nothing. I think that's about it for her.
That's the long and short of it, really.
There you go. Bipedal humanoid. There you go.
That is the long and short of it.
All right. Our next one: object push and pull. Mechanic allowing players to grab some larger objects and move them around an environment by either pushing or pulling them. The initial implementation will have usable trolleys that players can find in the world at space station cargo decks and underground facilities. Let's go back to Admiral Kusanagi. Did you get to see any of the action with push-pull? A lot of people were laughing about it, but a lot of people wanted to do it.
The cart. I mean, the cart thing is really cool. I mean, I think that's really to put in cargo that's just not going to magically appear in your ship, and you can put it on something and just move it in there. I think that's really cool. I think it's a highly beneficial for the gameplay. It's might be a time sink for some people, but that's you know, that's the game.
Okay. Fist, let me ask you this question. Does this now give greater reason for multiplayer in the sense of that when you're doing a mission? Like, you know, like for example, I'm go back to Twitch again. You know, when she has that drug mission and you have to find that one particular box, but you can also take the rest of the drugs if you want to. Does this give you reason to bring some other people, or does it say, hey, now I can do that by myself? I can stack 8 boxes on this cart instead of running back and forth 8 times.
Well, me, I'm always playing with my pops, so it's always multiplayer with me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely see the usefulness for the trolley, you know, and like you just said, I never even thought about that mission, because I never even done it. But yeah, I mean, the trolley is definitely cool. Because one thing, like I said, I always liked was when they showed off was to mount the minigun. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Okay, now I could, you know, Pops can push me or I could push him and we could just, you know, have a ball, you know?
Okay. GoMab, where do you see this leading? Because they've told us that this is just an initial thing to other stuff with push and pull. Is there anything else that you'd like to see this next kind of, what would be the next level of push and pull in the game as far as a mechanic?
I mean, knowing Chris Roberts, it's going to get to a point where he's going to say, all right, you got that Quantanium, you got to offload it onto a cart and push it through the elevators all the way to the refinery decks and tip it over into the smelters before it blows up, right? Because he wants to see that level of fidelity in his game. So I could see stuff like that, you know, happening where, you know, because right now, you know, it's for cargo, right? So yeah. I see it coming into play for anything that has to be moved that is now currently moved with hand wavium. You're going to have to, it's going to be physicalized and have to be moved manually.
Yeah.
I like that, hand wavium.
One of the things I thought about that would be cool, right now there's a bug that doesn't allow you to push the cart into ships. When it gets inside a ship, it messes with the grid. But you can push it most other places. One of the things which you just said, GoMap, that kind of resonated with me was what happens when I do a deal somewhere. And like, let's say you and I have done the deal and now we want to like split the cargo, right? So to be able to load that off my freelancer, put it on a ramp and then transfer it over to your ship. would be something that would be very cool to me. You know what I mean? Or you're doing some type of black market deal where you literally have to offload the stuff to whoever it is. I kind of want to see it move to that next level. I don't want it to be, like you said, I don't want it to get to that point where, we'd have to manually do every time we're moving this stuff. But I think that certain interactions would be very cool to be able to do between players in particular, as well as NPC delivery. I think NPC delivery would be cool too. So,
well, I can see, there's be certain places where if you go and buy commodities, that they have loader NPCs or auto carts that you will actually see it being physically moved from their storage facility into your ship.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think, that'll require you to go pick it up and move it manually, but yes, that player to player transfer or the time sensitive thing, you'll be doing those types of things.
Yep. And those carts would have, for those people who did Xeno Threat, if you all remember, one of the ways they moved them was using the gun, right, with the tractor beam. But to know that you could be able to like put things on a cart and move them instead of individually one box, but now you could stack and then move them. It definitely would have made the Xeno thing faster, if you could do something like that. So, okay.
Not really though.
You don't think so?
Though, because the way they had that design though, like if only way that would happen is if the ship to ship docking was in, because when you pulled up to the Starfarers, there was no way for you to actually have a solid flat surface to be able to push to be able to push the cart over.
But you did have to take them out of those racks, right?
Exactly.
And you had to do like a 2-3 pass before you got to the exit. And I'm just saying, if one person could have been in there easily just stacking and getting them ready. But again, that was a different scenario because like the way they had it laid out, I would agree with you. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I'll add there real quick that they have the what is it, the ability to pull tarps off of vehicles and stuff like that. And if you could actually wrap those in either like ratchet straps or in a net and throw in 10 at the same time while you're in the initial ship and then move them to your Carrack or move them to your freelancer that way, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that because they did show us that back in the day on Microtech where he pulls that tarp off of the rover. I completely forgot about that. It's a good point, Admiral. Yeah. Okay, Gigi, you got the next one.
Mounted gun aiming 10. Oh, no, that's not 10. TO, excuse me. Further expanding the player's arsenal by allowing them to take control of a mounted gun on either a vehicle or the ground. These weapons will offer greater firepower and stability at the cost of mobility. With the initial implementation, players can find these scattered around junk sites and underground facilities.
Okay, very cool. GoMab, do you think that these turrets will start? I mean, I know we talked about a little bit about this when it came down to homesteads for defense, but right now they've talked about putting them in the junkyards. Do you think that these junkyards are now going to become places where, they may drop some type of missions and make some, real FPS kind of stuff going on down there?
Yeah, definitely. I think the one thing that needs to happen to make all of these new ground vehicles and ground weapons really shine is you just got to make these the anti-aircraft guns deadly, right? So you have to land outside of the range, and everything that you do in order to engage that spot, you have to do it either through a ground vehicle, you got to run up. And so that brings into play those mounted guns, the tumbrils, the tonks, the so on and so forth. That's when those things start to make sense. And when that happens, I can see that, these folks is running up on something, or you're holding a spot and you got to hold it for a certain amount of time against a bunch of NPCs. You can just jump on a mounted gun and mow them down.
Okay. Fist, what about you? What do you think about these mounted guns?
I have to echo Go Mad. I enjoy this because Battlefield 3, that was my game. And I enjoy, FPS battle, and I've been kind of itching for it, besides going into the bunkers, just shooting 6 guys and then that's it. I would like to see some more FPS battle.
Okay.
Battlefield 3 was probably one of like 3 FPS games I've played and enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to the tanks and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Admiral Kusanagi. Okay, go, Gigi.
No, I liked it because there was always an objective. I was never just running around aimlessly shooting at people. There was always something specific I was supposed to be doing, and that's what I was doing. And if I shot at anybody, it was incidental along the way to what I was doing.
Before you move on, question for Gigi: were you a camper?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Gigi don't do no camping.
Okay.
I'm gonna run and shoot at you.
All right.
Yeah. Admiral Kusanagi, these mounted guns, they have not told us whether or not they will be destructible. Because that does mean something when, that gun can be destroyed when you're fighting against somebody. Do you think they should make them non-destructive or do you think they should be destructible?
That's a good question. I would have to say they should be able to get damaged, I guess. I mean, if nothing else, right now it can gets damaged, like on your tumbrel. If your turret doesn't get destroyed, if you're getting shot at and the vehicle stays, say the turret can get destroyed and the vehicle can stay mobile. Like, is that a thing? And if that's a thing, then yeah, sure, a fixed weapon like that should be able to get taken out. The same thing for like the inside of the Valkyrie door guns and similar. And then it just opens you up to every other gun on any other ship. And I don't know if is that the case with any other weapons, like on any like viable ships right now. You can take the guns up.
I've never heard anybody say that their guns were taken out before, because usually the ship blows up. But maybe somebody in chat can answer that question. Have you guys ever been in a situation where guns on a ship have stopped working? Particularly like turret guns, like in the Valk. And while we're getting some answers for that, Gigi, I know you like shooting and I know you like doing turrets and stuff. Would you like this ground type of gun? Like, let's say it was mounted on top of a homestead, or would you be into that? Because I know you're not big into the big FPS, but that type of thing sounds like it's something you would do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because for one, I can't drive the ground vehicles. I get motion sickness. So I would be 1,000% happy to just hop up in the turret and, like make sure we're safe. Also, yeah, I'm not big into like huge FPS, but if what I'm doing has an objective, if I have a purpose, then I'm not so bothered by it. But I don't have fun running around when my whole objective is to ruin someone else's day. That's not fun for me. But yeah, I'm not like opposed to shooting people.
Right.
I'm down. Let's go shoot at things.
Okay, cool. Okay, the last thing on the list here was the Tumbrel Cyclone MT. Since we were just talking about that, there's a lot of controversy when the MT came out. A lot of people were excited about it because it was like, wow, here's the vehicle that does a little bit of everything, versus the vehicles that were kind of exclusive to, maybe anti-aircraft, and another one that had a machine gun or turret. Have any of you guys had a chance? I'll start with Admiral Kusanagi. Have you had a chance to take the MT out yet, Admiral?
No, I have not.
Not yet.
I haven't. I did buy it, but
Okay.
I have not taken it out.
Okay, Fist, what about you?
I did take it out and parked it into my MSR, and that's as far as I got so far.
Okay.
I'm going to take it out as soon as we with the shows after. I'm going to go back into the game and try it out.
Okay. Go Mab, these other two guys, they don't sound like dedicated testers. Let me ask you, Go Mab, did you take it out yet?
I did today.
Wow.
While I was coordinating a massive 10-man rescue from New Babbage because ATC was down.
Yeah.
So as we were coordinating that and getting my guy to fly in and fly us out, I was driving around on the lake, just filling it out. It's fun to drive, but it just kind of sucks that you can't really do it. You got to have another person to control the weapons. But yeah, it's a fun little vehicle.
Okay, that's awesome. Gigi, you said you would definitely have no problem jumping in the back of this thing, right? Putting it to good use.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I'm for it.
Okay.
I'm always like I'm go to be a gunner. You know what I mean? Like I am always go. Throw me on a turret. I can shoot at something. Like I've got good eyes and I'm a pretty good shot. So I'm always down for that.
Okay. Well, I can't pick on Fist to Face or Admiral Kusanagi because I got one and I haven't gotten mine either. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys. I'm in the club with you. Okay. Here's my question. Maybe Gomab knows this, and maybe Fist, since you took it out, maybe you know. Is that a 3-person operated vehicle? In other words, you got a driver, you got a gunner who's handling the machine gun turret, and then there's somebody handling the rockets, or does the same person who handled turret handle rockets?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, I know there's 3 seats, but I don't know as far as the operator, like who does what. I mean, did you see that information, or Pops, when you got into it?
I didn't get in it. I got in the passenger seat and the driver's seat. I couldn't get in the back.
Oh, you couldn't get in the back because of the way I parked it.
Okay, Mad Style says it's the same person, so the same person handles both. Okay, got you.
Okay.
And Mad Style, are they handling that from the passenger seat? Is that where it's being done from? I'm assuming. I'm kind of curious about that. Turret rockets are the same. Okay, I believe. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it. From the turret, I believe. Okay. Only the back seat on the TM. Okay. Or the MT. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you. Okay. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. So those are the features, guys. And again, you know what? Is this open to everybody in PTU right now? It's not a wave 1, is it? Did they give it to everybody?
It's wave 1.
You know what?
It is wave 1.
Yeah.
It is wave 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Arity X, thank you, Arity, for giving out 2 subs. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. Because all I knew was that it was all I knew was open.
Wave 1.
Fast Car says wave 1. Yeah. See, I'm in wave 1. So all I heard was that it was open in PTU. I didn't even look. Okay, so that's good to know. All right.
I think it would be interesting to know if you could fire the rockets from the passenger seat instead of getting in the turret, though. Because if you're just driving around, headed to the movies or something like that, and you're like, oh, look.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to go.
Pterodactyl.
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get ready to change the gears a little bit. As you guys know, this is April 2nd, but yesterday was, what day was yesterday, Gigi? It was what?
April Fool's.
April Fool's Day. And for some reason or other, CIG, in their divine wisdom, decided they were going to do their annual April Fool's joke, but they decided to pick on a manufacturer that I'm not happy about. So we are going to take a look at the ISC, the Inside Star Citizen, for Thursday, April the 1st. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's take a look.
We're always pushing the boundaries in Star
Okay, that just went nowhere.
Citizen. Always pushing onto new frontiers of design, quality of visuals. We're always at that bleeding edge.
Here we go.
Of making games and designing spaceships.
Over the years, we've tried to create choices for players where if you like this, you can get this. If you like that, there's a ship for that.
It's a ship that we discussed and we were all excited to create.
But we've always struggled with getting a ship or a vehicle that absolutely everybody loves. And I think finally,
when players see this, they're just going to go crazy.
So we've been working on this invisibility tech with graphics for about 6 months.
And we needed that invisible shader tech before we could even consider putting this into production.
I hate these guys.
How do we even tackle this?
Trying to unrender a rendered shader is a very difficult challenge. As with all of our shaders, we go physically accurate. We reference real life, and so a lot of time was just spent researching real life invisibility to be able to mimic it in game.
We were really struggling.
This is an evolutionary jump, essentially, like a leap.
And to be honest, it was just during one of our test sessions that one of the QA staff came over and they showed us the opacity slider.
And was like, well, why don't you just put the opacity slider from 100 to 0? And that was literally just what we needed to do.
QA, they're the real heroes when it comes to this.
Obviously, Origin is a very luxurious brand. They always have great interior materials, lots of woods, high quality, like marble. Combining that with stealth and sort of this transparent nature was a huge challenge, because when you remove the visuals, you just have to really believe it's still got that luxurious combination.
Everything about this ship is about not being seen. That's its hook. On this, I mean, I can't lie. I mean, we basically just sailed through. Like, I put a blank sheet in front of Chris and said, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, it looks awesome." And I was like, "Sweet." The challenge of entry, it's not as simple as we've had in the past.
It's a journey of experience, trying to map out the ship in your mind.
People were spending a lot of time wandering around, kind of like almost aimlessly.
So it became, a real challenge trying to draw the line without any lines.
So the Origin 404 takes a lot of the greatest features from our other ships and puts them into one singular package. So things like the Mixmaster from the Starliner, you can't see it. The small Hadron Collider, a sort of version of what's in the Endeavour, can't see it. The landing gear from the Constellation gets a lot of flack for being unbalanced because it's all at the back. We put the landing gear for the 404 all at the front. There's some great community feedback on how these struts were getting in the way of the view. So at the time we removed them from there, but you can't get rid of anything. It's like energy, you can just change its form and move it somewhere else, but it ultimately has to come back in another form. So they're back for the 404. Every single one we removed from every single 600i is here in the 404. And other things that we'd removed, such as the Xi'an Scout's second seat, that's just chucked in there behind you as well.
Is this a 10-minute long
really is
joke?
just everything from Star Citizen.
You see my face, don't you?
The cargo, we came up with a really novel solution.
We did need a few extra bits of tech created to go alongside this ship. The thing we really wanted for the 404 is for the cargo bay to be completely shielded. Absolutely, completely, 100%. You can never scan the cargo in here. You've got absolutely no idea what cargo it's carrying unless you look at it. But
this is a funny little story. Normally there's multiple artists work on the ship, and in that white box phase, basically people are blocking out the ship, working out the interior. Where does the bedroom go? Where does the bathroom go?
so we started off with one large communal bathroom on this. It had everything in there. There's a toilet, shower, unlike our other ships where they were just like crammed into one thing. They were actual full-size ones, just dotted around in almost like a wet room. But given the challenging nature of the ship,
somewhere along the process, another toilet shower unit gets added. Goes through the review process, nobody notices, no one catches it.
Lars added one. Then Robin came on and added another one. Sean came along, made those first two into one.
Goes into grey box. Another team of artists go on to start fleshing it out, really sort of making the ship shine. They can't see the bathrooms, so they stick in another two.
Super sized, like you'd see at a swimming pool, just a huge thing. Jonas and James, they each added their own ones to the bedroom section, so they now had en-suites there as well.
And so then it caused classic CIG. Then it's like suddenly we go into the minutia.
And for every bathroom, we had the eternal debate that we have on the ship team, which is the taps.
Is it a mixer tap, or is it singles? Is it Euro style? Is it US style?
What does the future hold for taps?
By the time we get to final art, I think we were at like 16 toilets, and it was a real mix. So some of them, there was some that were the sort of combos of shower and toilet. Some were singles. And then we had group rooms. There'd be like 8 bathrooms in one room, and I was just like, what? Like, has no one seen this? Like, what is going on? Like, has no one cast an eye on this thing? The thing keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, it's turning into like this sausage dog now filled with toilets. Like, the thing is ridiculous.
Whilst we're out playtesting the 404, it's a unique experience. You can park it on a planet, and you better not leave your ship, because when you do, there's very little chance of ever being able to find it again. What it actually allowed us to do, though, is we kind of created a new role in the PU.
This joke was 2 minutes into this show.
His job is to sit in the landing bay of the ship and just wave. You know, when you go off and you explore, you go mining, you go and do whatever you want to do in the PU, and you know, the ship sitter will be there waiting for you to come back.
Like with a lot of our ships, we want to launch them with a bunch of customization options for players to really make the ship look their own. So we had these 3 paint jobs.
A lot of iterations. I came up with a lot of options for what we could really kind of do with the paints on this. I think, to be honest, I must have been close to that 404 number just on paints itself.
So we've got these 3 paint jobs that you can get alongside the ship on launch, which is called Ghost, Whisper, and my favorite of the ships.
A ship sitter?
Called
no.
Ghost, Whisper.
What I think the Origin 404 brings to Star Citizen that no other ship has really brought to the game thus far is freedom. There's a natural human trait to want to fly, to want to see the stars, to want to get to the mountains, to want to explore. And you know, we so often see kind of the mimicking of birds in a lot of what we do, and I think the exciting thing about the 404 is it just gives that next level of connectivity to the space that is around you. There's nothing between you and the skies, and that to me is you know, one of the most exciting things I think we've really done with the project so far. So I'm so excited to get this into the players' hands and, you know, see what the backers think of it.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that things may not always be what they appear to be, that sometimes the ship you're looking for can be pretty hard to find, that ships don't just punch above their weight class anymore. Sometimes you never see the punch coming. And that if you don't know what day this is, you might want to check a calendar. Now, we're still on our normal quarterly hiatus right now, but we're going to be back with regular episodes of ISC on April 22nd. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all in about 3 weeks. Activate stealth mode. Woo! I'm invisible. You can't. Oh, you can see me now.
That was way too long.
So
okay.
That was entirely too long.
All right, so let me go to something that Shady Face said. It's the only reason why I tolerated this video for a second time, because once was enough. Shady Face said something, and Shady Face said that that there was a rumor or a thought that this actually was the 400i, and that they are kind of pulling our chain a little bit. It would be cool if that is the case. Obviously not with all the bathrooms, but it would be cool if ultimately we find out that the 400i is real. We still don't know. You know, it came out as a hot thing a few months ago, then it kind of dwindled down, and then of course they decided to use it for April 1st. So what do you guys think? This is just a quick question, Admiral Kusanagi. Possibilities of the 400i, this was a preliminary to it and they just pulled our chain, or do you think it's still like, not gonna happen?
Well, we were talking about that in my other Discord org, you know, where I was at, and it was brought up. It was like, look at the back end of the thrusters. Like, there's nothing in game that looks like that. So I was like, oh wow, you're actually right. And if you look at the clips and stuff like that, so you know that whoever that poster might be right. We could be looking at it, which is pretty interesting. I mean, you got the dimensions kind of already there, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, Fist, what about you? What do you think?
I think it might be. Me and my dad, when we first saw the video, kind of looked at each other, and he brought up the mention that, you know, this could be kind of like a shots fired kind of a thing back in the day when the whole 400i was released and leaked and everything, you know, and it wasn't supposed to be or something like that. So it kind of was kind of like a jab at, you know, that leak or something like that. So it could be.
Okay. Go Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I think this was them trolling the folks that got all lathered up over the 400i leaks. I think the ship is going to probably come. I mean, there were game files in there. I mean, the game files themselves may be a troll. You know, we got a lot of ships. You know, I know very few people that have all the ships. So, I think they were just trying to have fun with at our expense, or at least at their expense, the folks that are all wrapped around the axle about the 400.
Okay. Gigi, I want you to know that GoMab can fly on my ships anytime he wants to because of something he just said. He said that people got all lathered up. He didn't say fired up. See, that's a luxury term. You get lathered. That's like origin kind of thing. So GoMab, I'm digging that. I'm digging that, dude. I'm digging that. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and
wow.
and
is that the secret word?
What does that mean for me and Admiral?
No, it wasn't the secret word. It wasn't the secret word. It wasn't the secret word yet. Okay.
I can throw pictures up there too. I'll be right back. I'll get the shower real quick. Get the camera.
I really don't. Wow.
All right, so let's move on. Listen, I'm a little keyed up about this origin thing. Okay, all right. So let's move on to our next subject, and this one is a little bit more tangible than our last one. Gigi, what is it we're going to be talking about in SCL this week? What is it? Calling all devs, right? And what's the subject matter we got?
Oh yeah, calling all the refuel and repair.
Refuel and repair. Gigi, are you excited about refueling and repair coming up?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, no.
Okay, that's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's take a look at it. We'll get our guests' opinions in a second here. Here we go. This is short too, by the way.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Calling All Devs, our Q&A series where we take questions from you, the Star Citizen backer, and put them directly to our developers, usually over teleconferencing. We were doing it long before the world was, way to catch up, world. Joining us on the show this week, we are talking to Dan Truffin and Johnny Jasivius about refuel and repair. So to get us started, we're going to go ahead and put a call in to Dan Truffin from our Frankfurt studio. Dan, how you doing, man?
Hey, Jared. All good here. How are you?
Getting by. We are talking refuel and repair this episode. So my understanding is that you and your team are in the early days, the early trenches of actually finalizing the design for refueling that we'll be pursuing for the Precision Universe. So wanted to see if we can pick your brain, see where we're at, see what the current implementation is, because we've heard a lot of things over the years. What do you got for us?
So you're right. We're in the early stages of this. We have a general high-level idea, and at this point, one of our senior designers is heavy at work on pretty much ironing out every little detail that's going to come into play for refueling. From how does the UI look, how does the flow of the UI, where is the UI positioned in the ship, how exactly does the Starfarer boom arm function for refueling, stuff like this. So I'll try to take you through a bit how this works. Players will be able to go to a station, and using the refuel rearm stock UI that will need to get redone for this, because it was very simplistic and only doing little things. They'll be able to fill up their Starfarer with either hydrogen fuel or quantum fuel. They'll be able to also equip their Starfarer with various tanks that are they're purposely made for quantum fuel or hydrogen fuel, and then they'll have a UI to select how much they want in tank 5, how much they want in tank 3, which type of fuel, stuff like this. Once that part gets done, they'll pretty much have to fly and find a guy in need, find a guy that has run out of fuel, didn't check his fuel meter, and made a bit of a mistake. We're foreseeing this will be much more of a problem once Pyro kicks in, because refueling opportunities there at the station are really minimal. So this will come into play a lot more. So for Tier 0, we're kind of looking right now at the players using chat, good old chat, and going like, dude, I run out of fuel. Is anyone with a Starfarer here that can help me? Or, hey, I have a lot of fuel. Anyone needs it? And you guys meet, you form a group, you meet the old-fashioned way. In the future, we're thinking of using the beacon system to actually create the beacon. Hey guys, I need fuel. We could do this at the beginning, but it'll just take us longer to release, and it could be a separate part that comes in later. So we thought we'd rather get fuel out to the players, refueling out to the players as fast as possible, and then we're gonna do the part where you actually have a way to contract fuel being brought to you, or I'm selling. I need buyers basically. So once you reach that person, we're going to leverage the existing docking stuff that's coming online now. You'll be using the same UI to dock basically your Starfarer's boom fuel arm with the ship that's out of fuel. The ship that's out of fuel obviously has a fuel intake port that you'll have to pretty much, it's a pinning the tail on the donkey type of thing. It's a very precise maneuvering thing. If you mess it up, you either break your boom arm or you break the guy's ship. So there'll be a lot of challenge in doing that docking. Basically, you're flying tons and tons of metal and fuel into and trying to very precisely insert that nozzle in there. Once you manage to do this, and if the ships are pretty much connected, similar to how the docking operation works, you will have a fuel transfer UI where you'll be able to set a price, which type of fuel, which type of tank do you want to transfer. From the receiving guy will be able to say, well, I only want half a tank because I'm low on cash or something like this. There's pretty much a trade interface where you have a bit of management of what you want, how much do you want, and from the Starfarer side, where do you want to deliver it from? Because you might have a tank that's completely full, a tank that's completely empty. We're looking into gameplay here of how the pressure in those tanks actually speeds up the delivery of fuel. So there will be, we want to insert a bit of gameplay here where you can, if you know what you're doing, you're going to be doing this fast, and you might be in a few seconds, like a pit stop Formula One thing. And if you're just an average player who first has a Starfarer and doesn't want to be bothered, you will still do it in about 30 seconds or 1 minute, depending what you're refueling. It might be a few minutes if you're refueling, I don't know, nitrous. That might take a few Starfarers, but you'll still be able to do it, but you'll just do it slower. At this point, both of you guys are sitting in space, so if someone finds you, you're in a lot of trouble if they're a pirate. So we will always want to do this risk-reward thing in our gameplay. We just don't want to get you guys to go there, you push a button, and then you wait for everything to refuel. That being said, refueling will take time. Refueling at the station is going to take a lot longer than it does right now. Refueling between two ships is going to take time. It's not just going to be you push the button and you fly out. No, it just takes time. So all in all, that's the big picture of how this works. And hopefully we'll get to release it soon. Yeah. We'll see. It's still early, but we're getting there.
But it is still early. Now I want to clear that statement up. It is still early. We have been talking about refuel and repair in many of these systems throughout Star Citizen development for several years now. When we say it's early days, that means active development on this feature is now begun.
The scheduling is done for it. We are just ironing out the details in the design. We already talked with a lot of the dependency teams, all the guys that need to provide the art, change the boom arm for refueling. How do we do the fuel ports? There's already people. There's gears are in motion for this. This pretty much needs to come with Pyro, because if it doesn't, then a lot of people are going to get stranded in Pyro, and there's going to be no solution for them. So yeah, it needs to get there.
Well, that answers my one question without me having to ask it. So thank you. All right, and I gotta imagine you and your team have done so much work on mining at this point. I have to imagine there have been some lessons learned working on mining that you're applying to refueling. Can you speak to any of that right now?
I think it's maybe not lessons, but there's also lessons, but mainly I kind of like it how the team started doing a lot more than just programming or designing. That we started having our guys know how to build UIs from scratch, and that helps us. For example, now with the refueling UI, we just can build our own. UI art is just going to come at the end and make it pretty, but we can build it completely functional, get all the gameplay done without having to depend on external teams and kind of waiting for them to finish. All of these external teams have like a backlog of tasks still the next year at least. And if you have to wait for them, it's slow. So we kind of streamlined and we learned a few tricks that we didn't know before. So now we're a lot faster in iterating. We did the mining UI, we did the refining UI. So now we're pretty much where we can just get the ball rolling as soon as we have anything with UI that needs to get done. Other than that, stuff from mining that will apply here, lessons we've learned. We'll have to see how we deal with economy. Mining has had a lot of ups and downs with economy, and we'll have to see how we do this without getting the players in a status where basically refueling this patch is profitable, next patch is not so profitable, and they stop playing the refueling type gameplay just because it's not a profit thing. So this is something that's probably going to be a bigger thing that we have to do throughout the game. That economy needs to be good every quarter we release, and it needs to be good for all the types of gameplay, not just the new one we released. But yeah, it's a work in progress. We're still learning here.
All right, last question again about the relationship between mining and this. Mining famously can be done poorly to catastrophic results. Humorous, but catastrophic results. Are we thinking anything along those lines for refueling? Is there going to be a way to mess up refueling so bad?
There's two ways you can mess up refueling. First of all, if your pilot is crap, he will collide with the ship he's trying to refueling. He will hit it with the arm. There's so many things that can go here. He will either damage the arm or damage the ship or damage the Starfarer. The other part where it can go wrong, if you're trying to do it faster, as in speed up the process of once the ships are connected and you don't know what you're doing, you either that nozzle can either burst, it can eject fuel into space, it can ignite, it can cause a lot of problems. We're also looking now as a higher tier of how to store more fuel. So you might actually want to, you might not want to fill up your tanks all the way to the max in high pressure, especially if you're going into hot areas, unless you have a tank that is made for those high temperatures. So there will be certain conditions in which if you have a highly pressurized tank, yeah, you will refuel faster. But if you enter a hot zone, that fuel is going to start to, the pressure starts increasing, that fuel becomes unstable, you might blow your ship up. So we're looking in this direction too, but probably not for the first release. First, we want to do the basic stuff, and then same as with mining, we keep building and building and building. So that being said, with mining and refueling, while not directly connected, the idea was always that you mine, you refine, and then you can use whatever you refine to refuel. So that is kind of the entire chain, but that will be coming also a bit later.
So custom tanks, multiple fuel types, variable pressure, so that there's an actual gameplay and skill element to it. And I'm gonna guess, knowing Mike Snowden, that a fully fueled up Starfarer will make a big boom.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to the videos.
It'll be the fuller it is, the bigger the bang, and it's also the fuller it is, the harder it will be to do anything with it. Chris was very adamant on this thing where, like, if you fill your ship up with a lot of fuel, it will move like a slow boat in mud, basically. So there will be choices to be made there. Do I fill it up all the way, or do I just fill one tank, or each tank here 10% only, or something like this?
Very cool. All right, Dan, I think we got it. Thank you so much. We're going to throw it over to Johnny Giusevius now and see where we're at with repair, so I can let you go. Take care.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's talk about this for a hot second. GoMab, what stood out from you in relation to this whole refueling piece?
I just hope that they don't try to do too much too soon. I know he said he's going to try to do the simple stuff first, and add on to it. I mean, I would love to see refueling just start out as we get into proximity, and you do it, like I said before, use hand waving to transfer fuel from Starfarer to your ship, right? Let's get that transfer going first, and then we can work on the actual fueling arms and aligning and that additional gameplay. Let's step through it. Let's introduce it to the game and work out those critical system level kinks before we can, we start putting those extra layers of gameplay on top of it.
Okay. Fist to face, what do you think? Which ships do you think are going to have to be the concern here with using the Starfarer a lot?
What ships?
Well, let me put it to you this way: the ships that I know that are going to be needing a Starfarer are fighters. Fighters' ranges are unless you've got a long range fighter. Most fighters can. I mean, they struggle to get across Stanton, and they've already alluded to the fact that Pyro's a whole different thing. So
as far as like quantum, yeah, you're right.
Yep. So
that I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah, in that aspect. Yeah, I would say because I definitely had that trouble with the Saber. When I'm trying to bounty hunt, between Hearst and two Crusaders. So yeah, you're right. The fighters are the only ships I could think of. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Okay. Admiral, what about you? Anything stick out in this with the fueling to you? Quinn, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you so much.
Well, there's actually a decent amount of stuff going on here. I have to agree with GoMab. First off, right off the bat, is I have a feeling they're just going to be like, hey, we're going to introduce it into Stanton, and we're just going to make it really awesome to make a lot of money on it, and they're going to kill the prices for everything else, or they could just say, we're going to reduce everyone's gas by like 20 or 40%, so you have to try the mechanic. And that's kind of not what, that's kind of like, not game breaking, but it's just kind of like, I'd rather not have to do this every time or something like that. In terms of ships that would need it, I think I think everybody here is a miner, and you think about having a fleet of prospectors or other ships out there, and you're probably going to need this ship. Especially if you're just dropping off your cargo pods and your supply vessels are just picking them up and taking them to a refinery. So those prospectors would stay on station for quite some time. I think it's really cool. I mean, they're doing it like, pretty much, I guess you could say, Air Force air refuelers with the boom that comes out and refuels them that way. I think if you saw that the new Gladius, they have the fuel like connector in the back end, and I would like to see the beginning stages of that working on like space stations and fuel pads like that, to like have like a hose come out and it connects to the back of the ship or a side of a carrack or something like that. So see where they take us. Okay. I love the way they have like you can like take payment and you can like give them a quarter of a tank or whatever they can. And some type of UI. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. Gigi, would you take on a job, like a role? I know you don't like flying big ships like a Starfarer, but would you like work on one of those ships, something like that? Like, for fueling and stuff like that? Would you do like the type of job to earn money and stuff?
No.
Not really interested?
Not my thing. No, okay. That just seems kind of like it'll get boring after a while. Like it will just become, like the humdrum. I don't want to do anything that's going to feel like I'm going to work and it's getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? I'm
like
just
job,
doing it.
like work.
Exactly. Like I don't want it to feel like a job. Like I do want it to still feel like gameplay and like it's fun. So
okay.
Yeah, I probably won't do something like that. No.
Okay. Cool. All right. Somebody, I think, Raymar just said, Starfarer jobs are going to be high paying jobs, and they probably will be because of again, everybody needs fuel, right? Yeah. And I think depending on where you are, that's obviously, people who are flying ships like a Starfarer can make their own prices, right? And if you're in some right, exactly, right. You're some barren place where you can't get fuel, or like the example, I think Admiral, somebody said the example about having a fleet of prospectors that are out mining. Especially when you're in atmosphere, hydrogen, and space isn't so bad, but hydrogen fuel burns up quick sometimes. And so to know that you've got a fueling ship that can come in and take care of you while you're mining, that's pretty cool.
I was thinking, Yeah. No, I was thinking
ahead,
like
no, you go ahead.
more of a loop where you have to think about too is security, because what about getting jacked for it? You know,
getting jacked for your fuel.
Yes.
Have you ever been shot at by a Starfarer?
Well, no, I haven't been. I've driven one.
That size 5 on top. You better be ready.
Oh, well, you know, I see what you said. Definitely. I've driven one.
Yeah.
I mean, she sure as heck is a boat.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the Starfarer used to be one of those ships that was a target practice for a while. I haven't seen people blowing them up anymore. One, because there's no fuel on them, right? So people just wanted to see them pop. But I think that you're definitely going to have to man the ship. Right, because obviously there will be some people, maybe not they want to destroy it, but like you said, maybe they want to hijack it, or maybe if nothing else, they want to say, hey, pay us 10 million, we'll let you keep rolling, you know, whatever the case may be. And you guys know the Starfarer versus the what's the other one called? The what's the militarized version of it? The Gemini. The Gemini. Gemini's a little bit more armored, you know. But yeah, I think that you do have to think about security measures and things of that nature when you have a ship like that.
Because they talked a lot about going out into pyro, and you know, when my mind always thinks pyro, you know, pirates.
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking like that. I'm always thinking, okay, well now I got to think about escorts, you know, for this ship, you know, because somebody is going to think about trying to take it.
Well, maybe the escorts, depending on who they are, you strike the right type of deal. Maybe the escorts aren't provided by you, but they're provided by your client, right, to usher you in and out of the system well, right? Because obviously it's to their interest that your ship gets there, refuels, and if they build a relationship with you, then maybe they're providing your escort service. You know, that's another thing too. So,
see, Griff, I like the way you think.
Oh,
there you go. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways people can play it out.
That actually gives me an idea, because I'm in charge of that in my org, so I have to think of all of these things.
Yep.
So that's my whole thing. Is I'm like I said, like, you know, I have to think about the logistics of it. Security, what's going to happen to it. You know, all of that stuff.
Thinking of this makes me think of some things like, well, the really huge ships like the Orion and the Reclaimer, like, will those have anything like maybe nuclear power? Or are you going to have to attempt to fuel that monster?
Yeah, I don't like. I think it's going to be fueling only because the whole nuclear thing was something that they did a ban on with weapons. So I know that the ships are fueled. But to your point, GG, when they're deep space like that, because, you know, like you said, when you take those big ships out, you really don't come back in. You know what I mean?
Like you're out.
Yeah, so you're going to take a big order from a Starfarer, probably, right? You know?
I mean, she certainly has a good point. You know, she has a good point that it's like, why doesn't Idris like need a, or even the javelin?
So seriously, like, why do you need
for gameplay? For gameplay. Otherwise, if you take away the gameplay at that point, that's the only reason why it would be there.
Look at the Xeno threat.
Gameplay, considering how huge the ship is.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, if it's nuclear, you don't have to do anything. It never has to be fueled. So you remove the gameplay from the ship.
Nuclear? It could just be something that's 900 years in the future that we don't know about. It could be a warp core for all we care.
Yeah, but my point is, you've eliminated the process of refueling from those ships at that point. I get what you're saying.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
But I'm perfectly okay with that. Exactly.
Yeah, I think everybody here is okay with that. Let's get to a certain point where it's like,
it starts to
how much
redundant and unnecessary.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
I'm not okay with that, because that takes money out of my pocket. That's what I'm in charge of. That's money right there. I'm not okay with that.
He said he could refuel that javelin and he ain't got to work the rest of the month. Okay, that's what he's trying to tell you guys. Y'all hitting his wallet.
Please don't. No. You reaching into my pockets. No.
They try to do physicalization. And then they say, oh, well, the gas tank is, you know, make believe, you know, because it's, it isn't really there. Because really the schematic of this thing should be like, oh, well, here's the gas tank. And this is how you blow it up, because that's where it's at. You know, because if it has to hold 80 million gallons of fuel, because it sucks up gas like a 1957, you know, Stingray or something like that.
My grandpa used to have a car that got 7 miles to the gallon. 7 miles to a gallon of gas.
Well, listen,
why do you hate the planet?
That's what the
gas station loved him. His gas station was like, I love that man. And right to keep us in business.
Everybody's like,
I'm loving this game.
Yep.
You know, because I'm gonna love to see those javelins and those Idrises because they are gonna burn fuel.
I will say this before we move on. So GreenEyed Gyal had a great comment a little while earlier. She said, you know, what about like no one's gonna want to do this, like be a gas truck driver, you know, playing a video game. They don't want to be at their other job from work. And it's true because, you know, it's pretty boring, I think. I mean, most tankers in the real world that fly do a giant figure 8 pattern in the sky, and then like a fighter would kind of fly to wherever it's flying, you know, in that figure 8, and then hook up and then take back off. So if that's what you want to do on your Saturday afternoon, you know, for 8 hours, you could just do these giant figure 8s, you know. So they should be getting paid a little bit of money.
Well,
certainly.
And to your point, I'll tell you this scenario why somebody will do it, right? They have limited ships. Their ship has been destroyed and they need money to either repair it. Because in fact, if they repair it, they get it back faster than if they put in for insurance for it. But they need cash. And if someone were to tell me in my org, listen, I got to go out and do some refueling and I'm going to pay you $200,000 when we come back, I'm going to jump on that sucker and start pumping gas. That's going to be the scenario. It's not going to be because I'm making 5,000 credits, 8,000 credits. It's going to be because the pay justifies it. It's just like the guys that go out there and do, you know, the crab fishing on the water. I would never go out there, but if you see how much money those guys make, they make good money doing that stuff. Yeah, you know. So it's got to be justified. And here, remember this, everybody's got their gameplay style. Like there are some people who FPS is their thing. There are some people who want to be engineers and they're happy to be on a ship to grab a fire extinguisher and put out a fire, where other people could care less about that. They want to be a gunner. So I think that we don't underestimate what people will want to do in the game, because there are going to be plenty of people. If the pay is right, I'll even do that. I have no problem. I'll bartend if you pay me the right amount of money. I could care less about bartending. So I think that people want to do it. You'll be a politician.
I'm gonna be the biggest bullshitter in the game, and I'm gonna make a fortune.
You're gonna make money. There you go. There you go. You know, everybody's got their thing that they want to do. But I agree.
Make sure you write policies, you know, in favor of, you know, fueling and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
There you go.
But
I'll grease your pockets, you know.
but to your point, and I think to Gigi's point too, it has to be a reason to want to do it, because otherwise it does become a chore. And it's like, you know, really? I mean, like you guys have seen missions in the game now where they tell you to go get the dead body and dump it out the back of your ship. You know, it's like, you know, you don't even pay attention to those missions, you know, even though you're getting paid. But if you're getting paid a certain amount of money, maybe throwing that body out the back ain't such a bad thing. So.
Well, what about this though, Griff? Like, before you move on to the next, like, because I always look at it like this, like the mining and the fueling always will, you know, provide you with that income for your homestead. Because for me, you know, how are you going to deck out your homes? You got to buy those things.
That's
what I'm always thinking of.
It's another form of revenue stream, but you can, whether it's missions, you know, whether it's simple box missions, whether it's refueling, repair, there's going to be so many different avenues of bringing in revenue. And that's the good thing, so that you're not limited, so that you don't have to. If you don't want to refuel, God bless you. You don't have to, because maybe there's some other means that you say, I love doing this and I'm getting paid for doing it, you know. So you just have to have as many opportunities for people to make money in the game. At least in my opinion, the more opportunities people make money, the better. You know, gotta get paid right though. Gotta get paid right though. That's for sure. Okay, let's go on to part 2 here, because we only got about a little less than 10 minutes, and then we'll be done with SCL tonight.
All right, thank you so much, Dan. Moving on to the second half of our show, we are calling lead FPS systems designer, Mr. Johnny Jasivius. Man with the coolest name in all of CIG. Johnny, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm not bad, Jared. How are you?
I'm all right. Couldn't get my hair to match because I recorded the first half one day and I recorded the second half another day, so I'm just wearing a hat. So nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. Nobody will notice that these aren't all recorded on the exact same day at the exact same time. All right, Johnny, we are talking about repair. We just got done talking to Dan. Dan and his team, they finished the majority of their technical design. They've got sign off from CR, and they're beginning their work in earnest to get refueling going in line with the release of Pyro. Hopefully, fingers crossed. No promises. That's just our target. you and your team are working on repair as a counterpoint to salvage. It's not quite where Dan's team is. It's a little earlier in the process. So why don't you go ahead and tell us where it is, where we're going, what considerations you guys are currently investigating right now, and just give us what you got about repair.
Sure thing. So yeah, and like you say, we're in earlier stages at the moment. We're still firming up on the design, so everything I say here might not make it to when it actually arrives in the PU. But yeah, essentially salvage and repair. It's the kind of like the first version of salvage that we're actually doing. So what we're calling it internally is it's more like hull stripping. So you're actually going up to ships and vehicles and you're either stripping away parts of the hull, which lowers its health, it's like its integrity essentially. Visually as well, because it uses the V2 damage map, or that's what we're intending to do. Basically burns it away, takes that material away, and stores it in the canister, even if that's on the multi-tool has a material canister, and the larger dedicated salvage tool that we're going to be doing has an even bigger one, so you can store even more of that stuff. And basically, yeah, you can either strip away from the hull, or you can use that material, or you can buy full canisters of material to come and use that as a repair resource as well. So if your ship takes a few hits in combat, you'll be able to pop out cockpit, EVA over to it, get your repair tool out, and kind of fill it in. If you come across, the idea is at least if you come across something like a derelict and your ship's damaged and you don't have any repair resource, you could strip away some of that ship and spray it onto yours. So it's not going to be 100% like, oh, I've just, sprayed this magical, metal substance into the ship again, and it looks like it's brand new. It's going to look a little bit more battle scarred. And the idea is we want to use a different material on that to show, like, look, you've patched this up yourself. It doesn't look like a pristine ship anymore. If you want it to go back to its pristine state and 100% health again, then you're going to have to take it back to a shop to get someone to properly repair it for you.
Interesting. So a little bit to unpack there. So repair is intrinsically tied with salvage. It is basically salvage is one mode, and then you flip the darn thing into reverse, and you're in repair in the other mode. But you said something interesting. When you repair your ship, when you run your salvage beam, either from the multi-tool or from the dedicated tool, and we showed some of the dedicated tools recently on ISE. You were there. When you run it past, it doesn't restore your paint job and everything. It's going to be some like third transient state, because we got our pristine ship with its paint intact, and then we've got the damaged ship, as it degrades, wears and tears, whatever happens to the ship, it takes it to the stress point up to when it's about to explode. But the salvage can bring it back, or not salvage, repair can bring it back, not just to where it was originally, but to some other third state where it's kind of like unpainted metal or so. Well, that's part of what we're exploring right now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of technical considerations that I don't want to write checks for at the moment, because we have to talk with the graphics team, we have to talk with a bunch of different people to make sure that system will work. But that is what we want to do from design side, if we can, because it does give you that nice visual feedback of like, I've been through a few battles, I've had a few scrapes, and I've patched it up myself because I want to keep going while I'm out. I don't want to go back to a landing zone or anything to get fixed up. So it does give you those, like, it feels cool, right? Like, you've been flying around for a while, like I've taken a few hits, but I've scraped through and I'm patching up myself. It looks, I think it'll make a few ships look, battle scarred and awesome. And it also kind of ties into the fact that you might not necessarily be able to restore that part back to its full health again unless you go and either get a replacement for it or you go and get the proper repairs for it as well. So it gives you visual feedback on both sides. Like, I've been out and about and had some scrapes, and also this is a little bit weaker than it was to start with.
Gotcha. So what makes now the time to get into this? Because we've talked about repair, I mean, since the beginning of the project, and we carry a lot of ideas forth with us throughout the years. You can go back through Wingman's Hangars and old ATVs and see many of Chris's comments on it throughout the years. But what makes now the time to actually buckle down and start putting things on paper and start actually pushing the process forward?
Well, to be honest, it's been a long time coming, and it's a system that's basically been needed. And the more persistence that we get inside the PU, and the more we want you to be kind of, well, we've got the health system coming in for starters soon, which obviously makes you care about everything you've got, and taking care of all of your items, a lot more important, because it's all persistent. So if you do get into a few scrapes in the PU, you're not going to just want to, abandon your ship and die on a planet somewhere, you're going to want to have an option to be able to repair it and fly out of there. So I think it all just ties into all of the other systems that come into the game at the moment, and the fact that it's a system that's been looming for a long time, and this is the starting point for it. Obviously, it expands out when we start looking at ship salvage. There'll be similar systems there where you might be able to use hull scraping lasers to take that stuff off, but then there's things like the reclaimer with the claw, and you just kind of progress from what we're doing down here all the way up to that. So yeah, this is a really good starting point, for us to just start, noodling around with, playing with, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then, go from there, basically.
I have to imagine you're also in a similar situation to refueling, in that the pyro system is coming and there are fewer rest stops, fewer repair stations along the way, and you're going to need more options to maintain your own ship, because you're not going to have an easy stop-off point to instigate repairs like you have in the stand system.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more remote and barren, isn't it? And you're going to want to be able to be a bit more self-sufficient than you can be at the moment. So yeah, and I think it even ties into a few things that we want to do down the line too, because we've not even mentioned where we want to take this beyond the hull stripping. Is like eventually we want to be able to, when we get the physicalized ship items inside the ships too, we want this to be able to tie in with that as well. So if someone does target your power plant or whatever and take it out, and you end up just about managing to land your ship somewhere, you want to be able to repair that power plant back up rather than being completely stranded because you've got no power plant left. So eventually that's to come later. That's probably not going to be an Arteza release, but later down the line, that's certainly something we want to do too, and it does tie into that whole self-sufficiency thing.
So where do you go from here? It's obviously don't give us don't put a date. Yeah, we're gonna have repair on December or whatever. but what's the process like from here from here forward?
So where we're at in terms of from a design point of view?
Like in the overall pipeline. If you imagine the overall getting repair into the game pipeline, where are we at in this pipeline? What's still left to do?
So we're still early. We've got the design stubbed out on paper, which we've been going through with game directors like Rich Tyra. So we've been working on that with him. We've been trying to come up with a what we call a functional design as well, which is essentially a fancy name for basically working out the numbers in Excel for a first, bounce pass on, the stripping rates and stuff and how it degrades the health on ships and everything. So we're just working all of the details out at the moment. There are other teams that we're obviously very dependent on to get this working. So we've been talking to the graphics team, network team, because obviously I've drilled a hole in my ship with my salvage tool, we want that shown over the network, and that comes with its own problems. So there are a lot of things to factor in, and then it also comes down to things like we've been in contact with the VFX team. At some point, we're going to need to see what the salvage beam actually looks like in situ with what it looks like when we're burning away the UV2s on the ship too. So it is very early stages investigation, tech investigation being done by several teams that link into this, and then also very similarly to what we do with a lot of our design workers, we're in kind of working with the teams that work on the concept of the visuals to see what this looks like, whether it be UI or VFX or anything like that. So
well, I imagine we'll be following along with it as it develops, just as we will with Refuel, and just as we are currently with the Colonialism Outpost and everything. Be sure to stay tuned to Inside Star Citizen to see this feature as it progresses throughout the remainder of this year. Johnny, that's it. Thank you so much. I can let you go now.
It's been fun.
All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you. See ya.
That's it. Paid the bills. I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next time, everybody. Take care.
Alrighty then. Repair. Wasn't so much salvage as much as it was repair. They talked about this new tool. By the way, we lost GoMab. It's midnight. Midnight hour. He always has to crash. So GoMab, thanks for hanging out with us. Sorry that we didn't get to say goodbye before you left. Admiral, let me start with you on this one. What do you think about this tool that they've been talking about here? What do you think?
The tool to repair ships?
Yes.
I think it's going to be good. When it's used appropriately. I think for pirates and other people who may think like a pirate, you might go outside and find your ship without wings. But I think it'd be very cool. I mean, yeah, because it's just the way it's just amazing. You could reattach a structure from just like materials or mats that you find from or refined, like refined materials, and then turn into like a wing. That's pretty cool. And of course, that's going to go into the new air giant ship. I can't remember.
Now I am curious. What they didn't. What he said was that you could deteriorate it, that you could reduce it, or that you could repair it and fix it. And I guess I'm curious about whether or not there still has to be some form of structure there. You know, sometimes you get a wing blown or a part blown off, but the framework is still there. Because I don't necessarily see this tool. I don't know if maybe you could tell me, do you think that the tool will actually replace parts, or will it just, you know, you have to have some type of structure there in order to, you know, run that tool back and forth? They kind of said it would be like a repair, not at 100%, but kind of like when you see like a plate put up there that's not the same color. What do you think?
Right, kind of like how you see those cars running around with the same door, but you got it from the junkyard or something like that. You know, like a nice, you know, something like that. I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that, because I would assume that that's how the way this gameplay would work. You know, like, you know, eventually, you know, like let's say the wing breaks off, but you know, you still have that structure of the wing there, and you just however the tool would work. I don't know what the gameplay loop would be, and you would just snap in however it would go, and that would be kind of cool, because I mean that would be kind of cool to see, you know, people kind of do things, maybe like have ships like they would have personality, because now you have a ship that's riding around like a hoopty, you know, something like that, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Gigi, there's some people who I guess they kind of gave the impression that the pilot could actually do some type of self-repair, but then there's other people that we know, like our buddy Red Wolf, who's been waiting on his Crucible, right? Do you think that it should be like kind of more like you said, a temporary repair? You know, if you really want to get your ship done right, you gotta, those guys with like a ship like a Crucible or something are the ones that you'd probably call for something like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree. Like it's like, you know, when you get into a car accident and you're just trying to get to the auto place. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, you duct tape your fender back where it was, and you just get there. It's the same general situation. Like right now, we're just duct taping things together and getting somewhere to get it really fixed. I wouldn't imagine it would. I don't think it would take away from gameplay to just be able to fix it on the fly and keep going. That's no fun. I would rather you have to go back and get it fixed for real.
Right. Yes. Right. And by the way, earlier when Gigi read the description earlier about the washing and stuff of the ships, they mentioned, many of you who were in the game earlier, they mentioned Cry-Astro coming back into the game. We haven't seen Cry-Astro in a long time, but those of you who were around a few years ago remember that there was an actual station that you would go to get repairs and refuel. So it's great to see that that is going to be coming back into the game. And and as they mentioned, and like Gigi said, you know, it's one thing to have that little multi-tool where you can kind of do a quick fix. And they mentioned that there's a gun that's one that's a little bit larger. But if you really want to get the work done correctly, you're going to end up visiting that facility again. So I'm actually excited to see that they're going to be bringing Cry-Astro back in the game. For those of you who remember back in the day. Okay. All right. So that was SCL. We got through. It was a short one this week. It was only 20 minutes long. Felt like it was longer. It was 10 minutes on each part, but we got through that. If you guys want to come into the chat and talk to us, we're going to review our machinimas for tonight. We're doing pretty good here tonight. We've got 2 of them for you guys tonight. And if you want to come in, don't forget there is a secret word. Unfortunately, our guests have not said it yet. They got pretty close, right, Gigi? One of them got close, right? Earlier,
got really close.
He got super close. I was ready to push the button. Wait, I was ready to push the button.
I was waiting for it.
Yep. But we are going to be giving away a ship tonight if they happen to say what that word is. So there's still a little time, but if you guys want to join the chat, just click on the link and you guys can come in and give us the comments about this next machinima. Like I said, there are 2 of them. This first one, Gigi, what's the name of the first one there? The first machinima?
The first one is called Ride This Feeling by Galaxy Girl.
Galaxy Girl, I've never seen Galaxy Girl's videos before. I stumbled across them. And as you guys know, we try to highlight some of the community work. So let's take a quick look at this one.
I woke up this morning, made a pot of coffee. went out onto the stairs to sit in the sun. I haven't been myself, I know I haven't been much fun. But I woke up this morning and the air tastes different. The fire in the gut kills the worm that haunts us. I'm all shook up, I'm all shook up, and I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, but I'm gonna ride this feeling. Then all of a sudden I knew I was dreaming, and for some reason I decided to take off my clothes. Then I jumped off a cliff, just spread my arms and flew all the way across Canada to see you. And I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, but I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down. The fire in the gut kills the worm that haunts us. I'm all shook up. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Just get out of the way and ride.
I gotta ride this feeling all the way down, all the way down. I'm ready for more beer. Can you pass me one, please?
I woke up this morning, made a pot of coffee.
Let's see, Admiral Kusanagi, what'd you think of that?
I mean, it's great when anyone in the community can, put something out like that and spend time to kind of express the way they see the game and their love for music or other things. It's good to see that Canada is represented in the music video.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. Mr. Face?
Yes, I actually like this young lady. I actually like this person. And I've seen other videos from this person as well. And she always does music videos, and it's cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, cool. Gigi, what'd you think?
I think it would have been better if it weren't all about Origin.
See, now I was like introducing this video as a very minimal way to redeem CIG's trick yesterday with April Fools. I really was. Now, mind you, I stumbled across this and I said, oh, an Origin 300, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So it'll make me feel a little bit better, a little happy song, all that good stuff. But, I will admit there was probably some subconscious stuff going on there, right? But Mad Style, let me tell you the truth here. Remember I said there were two videos? Well, Griff is not to be undone when it comes down to this whole thing with Origin tonight. So let me show you the second video that I'm a little bit more serious about, okay? So yes.
No.
Yes, this is from our good friend Aleksandr Belov, right? Let's do it right if we're going to talk about it, okay?
No,
sit back and relax.
Let's just not do it.
Yes, let's sit back and relax.
Oh, gosh.
Bring it on, Origin. Let's see it. Yeah, we're redeeming ourselves from yesterday,
You
folks.
tell me I can't slow down. You tell me where I've gotta be. I spin into the darkness, but I swear that I can't see a thing in front of me. No, it's true. I'm not driving anymore. I can't keep up with you. You're closing in behind me. I got headlights in my eyes. Don't you get too close to me. Can you see that we'll collide and end up casualties? There's just no room. I'm not driving anymore. I can't keep up with you, so leave me on my own. Run me down and race away from here. I've got nowhere to go to. I don't think I can get back on my feet. Back on my feet. It came right out of nowhere. Eyes wide and terrified. I can't put my brakes on. I can't swear to save your life, cause then I lose control. And I can't choose. I'm not driving anymore. I can't keep up with you, so leave me on my own. Run me down and race away from here. I've got nowhere to go to. I don't think I can get back on my feet. Back on my feet. Get me out of harm's way. Can't you see I'm paralyzed? I wanna fade out gracefully, but you keep keeping me alive to face another day. Can't you see I'm through? I'm not driving anymore. I can't keep up with you. Can't keep up with you.
We could try to clip that so Gigi could see it.
Don't we all feel better now?
I clipped it.
Don't we all feel better now?
Oh, he was throwing money out. He was tossing bills.
That was worse than the April Fool's video.
We all feel better now. What do you mean? I don't understand.
You feel better now. I could have lived my whole life without that.
I don't understand where all this animosity comes from.
Hey, Griff, I'm not mad at it.
Right now, we're in eat the rich mode, okay? Okay.
Where's the love? Where is the love?
There is none. Eat the rich.
There's supposed to be some love here.
Zero
Well,
love.
guess what, CIG? You can see that ship. Okay.
Oh my God.
So
You see it, but wow, it don't do nothing.
No, wait a minute, Griff. I have a question.
Yes.
So, you didn't think it was like, what do you? Okay, so the first thing I think about when you see the stealth ship, you think about like the Klingon birds of prey and doing that type of thing. I mean, certainly what they showed there was completely, ridiculous.
Right.
But would you want like the 400 to be able to cloak?
No, that gameplay wouldn't be practical. No, it's a cool idea, but the practicality of it would be a difficult. I mean, you have to have vulnerabilities, just like with Star Trek. The Klingon ships technically couldn't fire unless they decloaked. Unless you had the I was going to say unless you had the prototype. Exactly. And by the way, Fast Card has joined us, guys. Fast Card is here as well, so that's one more.
I just want to say you got some moves there, Griff. Yeah, you dance just like my father too.
Well, thank you very much.
He reminds me of Gigi's dad, though.
Yeah, I don't think she was saying it as a compliment. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just having fun with the whole thing with Origin tonight. But I actually do hope that was kind of something that they're leading into for the 400 series. It would be kind of cool to see one more ship to complete that. If you guys know the lore on Origin, it started with a 200 series, and so if they were to close the gap with the 400, that would be very, very cool. So I thank you all appreciating having a little humor with my fun tonight with Origin tonight.
I'm not. Well, I got some clips of you. I'll post them later.
Okay.
I'm mad.
I'm not.
Say something got to be mad. I'm mad. I'm eye rolling. Eat the.
I can't be mad at it because I've been hosting my parties on the 890 jump the last 2 streams I've had, so I can't be mad.
Well, the problem is Gigi got a double dose of Origin tonight instead of one, so I think that was she was okay with the first one, but the second one pushed her over the edge.
That first one was 10 minutes too, right?
No. The first one was only
The first one was 10 minutes. That was the joke. Then it was 2 machinimas. I'm over it tonight.
All right, Surasawa has just joined us. Surasawa, how are you?
Hey, Kuno.
Is he there?
Surasawa Kuno, hello.
Uh-oh, maybe not. Maybe stepped away from the mic. Okay, I was hoping to get him in before we closed out tonight. But again, we as always, we want to thank. Whoa, that was the wrong screen. Hold on a second, gang.
Oh, what is it?
Hey,
that was like that. Dude, yeah, something's
a little
wrong.
bit of computer trouble here with my mic. I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you now, sir. Yeah, we hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, we just lost.
Yeah, kind of. If my computer doesn't decide to crap out on me here.
Yep, we can hear you. How are you?
Pretty good. I got one question for you, Griff.
Sure.
And I got a 315p, so keep that in mind with what I'm about to say. But if with all this love you're throwing out, let me ask you: if you how many credits worth of polish and saddle soap do you think it takes to clean up the nice shine and sheen on that 890 and the leather to get it all in good condition per month?
Mm-hmm. The answer for that is it doesn't matter, my friend.
Because remember,
there is no price that needs to be set. It doesn't matter. If you can't afford one, you don't need to own one. That's all I got to say about an 890.
He's happy as long as the soap and suds involved. He's happy.
How about somebody hit you with an EMP and you fall out the sky?
Wow! Lord. Thank you guys for humoring me tonight. We appreciate all of you all for hanging out with us. To Admiral Kusanagi, to Fist to Face, to GoMab, and even to Surasawa, who popped in at the last minute. It's good to see you. And of course, to the lovely Gigi, who's here tonight and back after a month, and happy to see her. And even though she's a little eye rolling at the end of the show, appreciate you being on the show with me tonight.
Always.
We do want to talk about this week's show. Gigi, why don't you tell them the name of this week's show coming up on Sunday?
This week's show coming up on Sunday, as you can see right here on the screen, is called The Cost to Be the Boss. And as you can also see, we have our own Fast Card standing there looking wonderful.
Mm-hmm. He's the boss there. He's decked out. He is dressed.
Boss here, dressed to impress. All decked out.
Yep.
I wish I had that outfit. But I do like that the show is on 404.
Yep. And by the way, Surasawa, just so you'll know, this reason why the show Sunday is called The Cost to Be the Boss, it is talking about what is it going to take for those people, particularly who run multi-crew ships. What is it going to take to make those ships operate, whether it's personnel related, resources related, operation of the ship, the whole 9 yards, and their hurdles, and also the things that they're going to have to think about if they're going to run big ships. So, yep. Where they got to worry about the lives of the people that you carry. So that's going to be the show this Sunday. So we hope you guys can join us. We're looking forward to having a lot of fun. Nobody seemed to win tonight, GG. Will you want to tell them what the magic word was for tonight?
Okay, I'm sorry you guys didn't say it. You got pretty close. The magic word for tonight was Archimedes.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have won an Archimedes.
Yep.
Who was close to that?
Gomab was. He mentioned about taking out his P-52 and P-72. If he had said his Merlin and Archimedes, he would have got it.
He was right there. He was right there.
Yep, he would have got it. He was close. So we were kind of both shaking a little bit. We thought he was going to say it, but he didn't. So, but we were doing that obviously because the docking is being brought into 3.13, and we thought people would love to have an Archimedes to test out in that mode. So, but we will do another giveaway. That's for sure. Okay. So we're gonna say something fast, Cart? Sound like you no? Oh, okay. Nope. Okay. All right.
Hey, Griff, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Okay, so the reason I started watching y'all and I've been really enjoying your shows so much is because, especially compared to a lot of other places on the net, and even to a lesser degree, unfortunately, in Star Citizen, y'all are really positive, I feel like. I'd like to suggest a tag for the show for Soul Citizens, the most positive place in the verse.
I like it. Then you want all the haters to show up, and we start advertising that.
That's why I show up.
Yeah, we appreciate the compliment.
I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah, we appreciate the compliment.
I have to pull them back to reality.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we don't mind having criticisms on the show. I mean, there are times when we are critical of things in the show. I think it's just whether we're negative about it is as you mentioned, that's the difference, because we do believe that CIG, like any company, should be held accountable, especially when it comes down to funding and money and things of that nature.
I'm not even talking positive or negative about CIG or Star Citizen, but just the interactions with the people here on Soul Citizens just is, I don't know, it's very warm, it's very welcoming.
Oh, they're great.
We appreciate that.
And there needs to be more of y'all. That's why I was asking earlier if Soul Citizens actually had its own Oregon game, because I was like, that's an org I want to join, but apparently y'all don't, so I'm sad.
See. No, we appreciate that. Yeah, we do have, there are plenty of folks who are in our Discord. I think I was surprised a couple of weeks ago. I looked and we have over 100 people who are in our Discord, which I was surprised to see. And it's great. We appreciate the fact that people have thought that much about us to follow us through our Discord. But no, we're not an org. And even though many of our members, maybe about a third of our members are out of test, we have members that are in other groups as well. And we like kind of keeping the diversity aspect of that going on. So we appreciate the compliment. Thank you. We are trying to make the show a very positive one, and especially this one where we allow the community, for you guys to come on and talk, because you get to hear enough of us on Sunday, but we really want to make Friday night about the community and giving the community a voice. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
Kuno, we are very lathered. Thank you.
Yeah, we're a lathered bunch.
Yes. I'd like to keep it lathered up.
Yes, we are a
If
lathered
you get
bunch.
too lathered, they have this thing that they invented not that long ago to help you out. It's called a shower.
Just in case. Yeah, just in case. Well, Artie, thank you again for another gift sub. We appreciate that. And Genev 101, thank you for the follow right at the very end. We appreciate you coming on board. We're at 906 followers, gang. We're getting near that 1,000 mark pretty soon. So when we get there, we will definitely do something special for 1,000 followers. So as you can see, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we are on YouTube. You guys can follow us on those as well. We really appreciate it. You can always catch the shows on there. They're always posted. And yeah, that's about it for the night. So to my co-host, Gigi, anything you want to tell anybody before we sign off for the night? I got to find who we're going to raid. Let's see who we're going to raid while you're talking.
Just that I missed y'all. It's good to be back. I feel like I've been gone for forever.
You've been gone for a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, so it's good to be back. I have missed the Soul Citizens.
Oh, we missed you too, GG.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
You're very sweet.
So we're going to raid Carbon Tales tonight because we haven't raided them in a while. And
Let's
you
do it.
guys are familiar with them, so we're going to drop a raid there. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Sunday. If not, hopefully next week. Enjoy the holiday for those of you who celebrate Good Friday, Passover, any of those things. As always, we tell you all to be safe, stay healthy, and as always, peace, love, and soul. See you guys soon.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone.